Hello, everyone. You are listening to the C Squared podcast with Corey and Curtis. We are here today with music extraordinaire Francis Roberts. And first, I just want to say thank you for being here today. And we really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks a lot for having me. Nice talking to both of you, Curtis, Corey. I don't think I've ever been referred to as a music extraordinaire before.
You're an
think I like
extraordinaire
that.
to me. And if Curtis has never told you that, then he is a failure.
Also, as a note, just to begin, the reason why we have no audio is because there was a wardrobe malfunction at the beginning, and I'm not going to say
no video.
Corey. Yeah, or that's why I meant no video. Yeah, no video is because there was a wardrobe malfunction just beforehand with Francis, not me, obviously.
Yeah, totally.
I spilled coffee on my shirt, but Curtis peed his pants.
And I'm just here. I'm just along for the ride.
Corey's cat had an accident on her lap right at the beginning.
That's it. We're going to make you wonder why there's no video. What went wrong? What horrible disfigurement does one of us have?
If you watch the video content that I'm on later today, you'll know that it wasn't me.
Oh my God, you're recording this, you asshole. Okay. Fuck, now I can't use you as the excuse. But anyways, moving right along.
Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
For people who don't really know and aren't really familiar with you, Francis, why don't you give us like the nutshell version of who you are, what you do, all the different projects that you're in. I know there's a ton, but just give us the condensed version.
Okay. I guess I like to think of myself as a sort of like a producer and like songwriter composer more than anything else. That's sort of my primary thing, and that's the thing that got me into playing in bands. And the active projects that I'm in right now are Old Man Wizard and King Gorm. And I also release a great deal of what I would say is like cinematic music. Some of it would be dungeon synth, and some of it would be like soundtrack work, things like that. And I'm into synthesizers. I play guitar. I'm not that into guitar, but I'm not bad at the instrument, and so I end up playing it on a lot of my recordings because I like the way it sounds in an arrangement. I'm full disclosure, I'm really not into the instrument. I just used to be, and so I got good at it.
Wait, don't you teach that or what?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
okay, keep going.
I teach music production classes, and I teach guitar lessons.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Keep going.
My students know that I don't like guitar that much. It's not. I try not to make it too much of a secret.
Please pay me, even though I hate doing this. But yes, okay.
Yeah, you're. I can be more objective about it when I don't love it as much. I love the result.
Fair.
I don't love the instrument.
Fair. So what else do you got going on, Francis? So that's just a few of your things.
Yeah. I don't know. The most exciting thing that's happened to me in the last year or so is finding out that a movie I did some music for is going to get a theater release.
Awesome.
That's the first time that's ever happened to me. So I'm super excited. I like cried when I saw the news. I was like, oh my God, like just overwhelmed with emotion. That's, absolutely the most exciting thing that's happened to me in a very long time.
I think the most exciting thing that's ever happened to you is you got to be a guest on Greg Kennelly's album.
That's true. Yeah. I really like his ambient stuff, and
I do too.
I am his next release. I'm actually mastering it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Cool.
He was asking about it, and I was like, hey, I'll send it over to me. And let me see what you've got, and I'll give you some tips. And I sent him back something, and he's like, this is great. And nice. I was like, you can use it. So
nice.
I actually redid it, and I said the first one's free. Basically, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
if you like it and you can't reproduce it, you can pay me for the next one. But
nice.
I just want people's music, especially when it's music that I like. I want it to sound good.
Yeah. I had to throw Greg in there just because he's like a co-host now, so we had to plug him just for some reason.
Yeah, might as well. He's a really nice dude.
He is. So before we go into anything else, let's talk about YouTube. YouTube,
Okay.
your main social media. Well, maybe not your main social media thing, but I know the one that you're not mainly, but are focused on. Can you kind of go over what it is that you do with your YouTube? Because it is music related, but it's teaching related, right? So if you can go over that a bit.
Yeah. So I guess the big thing with YouTube is that it's been it takes a great deal of effort to make any type of content
Yep.
that's even remotely meaningful for
Yep.
a platform that's focused on video like that. I think like TikTok and YouTube are both things that take a lot of work to make good content for, because you have to be visually engaging as well as saying the right things and
Yep.
showing what you do. So a big part of the reason it seems to be a big focus is because it has to be on it at all.
Yep.
So I got into doing it. I used to just put stuff up periodically. Like I took down most of my old videos because they were just I would just store jokes for friends up there. And I was working with some friends who do an event called Northeast Engine Siege, and they were doing like a music production series for their channel.
Yep.
And they asked me to make some videos for it, and I did that, and I liked them, so I put them up on my YouTube channel after they were done like showing it. It was like a show on Twitch basically, and my series was basically like the commercial break on it.
Yep.
And after doing that, I realized I enjoyed doing it and I wanted to make more of them, so I continued that series on my YouTube channel and sort of thought very little of it, and then people started following it and liking it, and I started getting messages from people that were like saying that I had inspired them to get back into music. So I was like, shit, I guess I might as well keep doing this. And I was starting to notice that by creating this content that was basically just about here's how I make stuff, very like I guess like Bob Ross-esque, like here's like
Some happy little synthesizers.
Exactly, yeah. And like a lot of the stuff I make is rather complex, but I also enjoy making stuff that's very simple. And I think that showing the process of both, like here's something that you could follow along with this video and just end up with a very similar result. I can see why it's fun to watch. And since I started doing that, I started following other channels that do similar stuff and find that I enjoy watching other people do that. And it's sort of helped me get it. Because initially I didn't really get why someone would want that or why people would want to consume that content. And by making it and having people compare me to stuff, I'll check out the stuff people compare me to and be like, oh, now I get it. So yeah, it's a great deal of it's educational content. I try to do some stuff about my own things. I've been trying to slowly archive past work as like full album YouTube streams, just because I like those personally. And it's just there's just so much crap to put up, and I try to post twice a week on YouTube, and it's a great deal of work.
Well, yeah, no kidding. But you're doing, okay, so you're doing twice a week at least, but you also don't you do a stream on top of that once every couple of weeks on top of the 2 posts, or am I mental?
I do. I tend to do 1 to 2 streams a week as well.
Oh, that's it per week. Wow.
Yeah.
You post too much.
I don't have a schedule for it yet. I've been working on trying to put together a stream schedule because the streams are becoming quite popular with my followers. I'm getting more and more people watching them. And because of the way I present them, people tend to watch the recaps, which is cool. But yeah, I try to do a stream where I work on music like from scratch or work on a project that I've been working on at least once a week. And I do other ones too. Like I'll the last few months I've been like going shopping on Bandcamp on stream on Bandcamp Fridays, and people have been loving that. People love watching you spend money.
People love watching you spend money. That's like the best quote I've ever heard.
Yeah, people love it's like living vicariously, like watching someone else spend money and like egging them on, like here's something you could buy, and then I go buy it. Like
That's amazing.
it's so fun for people to watch
That
like money get spent that's not theirs.
Corinne, you should do that too for your Bandcamp roulette one of these days.
I've been thinking about it. I just haven't done it yet.
You should force Francis to make you guest on his Bandcamp Friday one of these days.
How long is Bandcamp doing anymore? I thought it was maybe one more and then they're done.
I'm pretty sure it's just one more. Do you know, Corinne?
Okay.
Yeah, it's one more and then it's done. But I mean, I'm still going to do Bandcamp roulette every Friday. So
yeah. Well, you know what we could do? We could make our own Bandcamp Friday every month, and then you could just do it, Francis.
That's true. I probably will continue doing it anyway, but it's sort of like as what I do to create those streams is I have a shopping list document
Yep.
in which I just essentially copy paste Bandcamp links when someone recommends stuff. I don't listen to that much music personally. Like I've seen other musicians make this comparison, and it was extremely relatable to me. And I don't know how many other musicians feel like this, but since I don't have like a job that isn't music related. Not working and then like listening to music, especially if it's music similar to the stuff that I make, feels like I'm still working. And it doesn't feel like a break. It's not relaxing. And it's the comparison that I've seen Ginger Baker, who was the drummer in Cream, and Hans Zimmer, who's a film composer, and also he was with the Buggles. Video Killed the Radio Star. A lot of people don't know that Hans Zimmer was the keyboard player in the Buggles.
I didn't know that. That's a piece of trivia I just found out. That's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, I've heard both of them make this comparison in interviews that listening to music when you're not making music as a professional musician is like a lot like, having like a conversation with your family about buses when you get home as a professional bus driver. Like, it's like not what you want to be doing. So like I'm like playing video games or drawing or reading or something like that most of the time, and I don't I get really distracted by music. I like focus on details in it and hear stuff that I want to try to recreate, and I can't turn that off. So I have to wrap myself up in a blanket and be quiet for a while afterward.
No, I get what you're saying, because I know the same thing will happen to me occasionally with metal, because I mean I primarily deal with metal bands. I mean I have to listen to something else at the end of the day sometimes, because you're just like, not another death metal band. I've been doing this all day.
I can't listen to another death metal band when I've been like involved with something similar to death metal for a while. You get a bit burnt out, but I mean I still enjoy it. It's just like it does feel like work. I totally know what you mean. Corinne, you want to take over about Twitter next?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you're pretty active on Twitter. You've got, good engagement and everything like that. And that's an area that a lot of bands, they really struggle with, especially when it comes to getting started. So like, I don't know if you had that kind of a barrier or that kind of a problem where you just couldn't really get into it at first, but if you did, how did you break through that? And like, what other ways would you suggest bands get started actually being engaging on Twitter?
Okay, so that thing that happens sometimes where like Taco Bell will tweet at Wendy's and be like, "Oh, the Crunchwrap Supreme is so much better than your stupid hamburger patty," whatever they do. And it's kind of cringy. That was the barrier for me, was that like, why would a band go interact with somebody and say something like, I think people follow a band's Twitter to receive news about that band. And you have to be really, really careful when you try to interact with people or post stuff that's completely unrelated to your band, because the people that are following your band's account for news about the band, like tour dates, new releases, stuff like that, don't want to see a lot of that stuff most of the time. That's just like in the way. So figuring out a way to make your content related to your project and related to your band and appropriate to people that are following you was the big hurdle for me. And the way past it was like, I've been working for a while on trying to rebrand myself as a like I said, like a producer, a composer, a songwriter, because that's essentially what I've been doing this whole time. And
Yeah.
it gets confusing for people when it's like when there's so many different names, so many different project names, so many different bands. So the thing that helped me get involved with Twitter was making an account that was just me, and saying, here's some stuff, and like you can follow me if you want to be a fan of my stuff, of my writing, and here's my band's accounts, which don't post a lot. They'll post news, they will post things like relating to new releases, tour dates, stuff like that, and I will retweet all that stuff here. So if you are a fan of all my stuff, you can just follow me. You don't even have to follow my band accounts. A lot of famous bands, you'll see their accounts and they'll have like 2.5 million followers and following one account or 0 accounts, and it's because that's really not. I as far as I can tell, that's really not what people are using, are following bands and stuff like that on Twitter for. They don't.
Yep.
I don't think they really want that, and I have seen people do it very successfully, and it sort of becomes part of your brand, and people expect that. And I think the thing you have to recognize is that if you're posting memes, if you're posting, interacting with people, making jokes, a lot of people will start following you and not want the content about your band.
Yeah.
They just want to. They want to be friends with the person behind the account. They don't care about the music, and that can be okay. But I think it's important to recognize that like a lot of times people just don't care about your music if they're following your account, and because you post a lot of memes and stuff.
I want to point out, I'm not a fan of your Dungeon Synth. I'm just a fan of your other music, but I like you as a person. So when you post that stuff, it's like, but we still interact. So there's a good example right there.
Yeah, and I don't expect a lot of people to like that stuff. It's a pretty niche thing, and I also don't expect a lot of people to like stuff like King Gorm or Old Man Wizard. It's not for everyone. It's for I write that music for me, and I guess the saying is like if you're like 1 in a million, there's like 320 of you in the United States, and around the whole world quite a bit more. So those people, if you're writing music for yourself, you just have to find those people, and it's enough fans to give you a career.
Yeah, I agree on that. One more point before I let Corinne ask the next question, though, is I also want to point out, though, that I think that your diversity is a strength, though, at the same time, because it makes you more well-rounded, I think, and people will kind of look up to you now as being more of a creative person than just stuck into one genre. You know what I mean?
I think that I can see how it could add some type of air of credibility to me, especially as like a producer, or as some like something that started happening is because I got into doing other stuff, I started getting asked to do like, oh, can you do music for this short film, or can you do like add keyboards to my song? All that type of stuff that I've been doing is literally the result of just publishing content of myself doing that, because I've always been doing that. I just didn't really advertise it. Like I don't think it might be in the credits of one of the Old Man Wizard albums that I played keyboards, but I played keyboards on the first 2 Old Man Wizard albums, and I think that just the fact that I didn't draw attention to that, a lot of people don't even notice that there's keyboards there.
I didn't until you mentioned it.
Yeah, it's like it's I mean, did you know there's like synthesizers on like all the early System of a Down albums? Like a lot of metal bands, like the high production value stuff, they'll put keyboards and like sound effects and samples in the tracks, and you just put them back in the mix far enough that you're really just listening for the guitars and the singer and stuff like that. And a lot of people just won't notice that stuff. It's the same way in like a Disney movie when someone starts singing, like the soundtrack sort of follows it and accompanies the singing, even though that there's no orchestra on the screen. And we just gotten used to it culturally. I think just the expectation that something that's really good will get backed up by stuff, and you just tune out the backup. But it's still there.
No, I agree. Corinne, do you got any follow-up for Twitter before we move on?
No, I think it's a really interesting perspective, because I'm kind of opposite from Francis in that I like to see bands, telling jokes and posting memes and showing more of their personality on Twitter rather than just tour updates and everything like that. So I guess I don't know if I'm in the minority there or if
Well, he does
that's,
that too, though.
yeah, I know,
So
but even the band accounts, like, I don't know. If it was all like tour updates and news, it would get kind of boring for me.
Ooh, we're gonna fight now. Let's hear the fight.
well, okay, so
Go back,
I
Francis.
don't think it needs to be only tour updates and news. I think it can be like stuff that the stuff that's related to the bands. Like I think that um saying like, oh, you know, so and so has this, like something that I think I posted recently was like from the Old Man Wizard account was like Andre, our bass player, like here's a video of Andre covering this song.
Yeah.
And it's like that's
Mhm.
not, it has nothing to do with Old Man Wizard,
Yeah.
other than the fact that it's like here's a video of our bass player playing guitar on a cover song of some weird thing, and it's like it's still related to music. It's still related to us as people and musicians, but it's not related directly to Old Man Wizard. And I think that I try to keep it like in the orbit at least.
Yeah.
When I do that stuff, and it was very memey. It was like a he'll do. He's got really funny taste.
Well, hold on one second. I want to point out something. I think what you do now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now you keep it the way you're saying, but you do a lot of responses at the same time. You know what I mean?
Sort of.
Or am I crazy?
I mean, I do that from my personal accounts. Like I said,
That's what I mean. Yeah.
A big piece of what I do is like I'll use like the Old Man Wizard account to like retweet stuff from Andre's account, stuff from Chris's account, stuff from my account.
Following that account, I gotta look. Keep talking, Francis.
I don't. You probably are, and I don't post on it a lot. I mostly just retweet stuff from me, Chris, and Andre, and occasionally we'll post updates relating to the band. So I'm very conservative with what I post from the actual Old Man Wizard account.
So you're saying like as a band, that's how you feel, but as a person, Francis Roberts, you mix it up.
Yeah, I think Old Man Wizard, that account is there to boost Chris, to boost Andre, and to boost me, and to post stuff about Old Man Wizard. And that's that's the purpose of that account to me. And cool. I like I said, I've seen people that are very successful with using their band account as an extension of themselves.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm worried about is that I find that confusing because I do so many projects, and
Fair.
I don't want people to like well, I find that a lot of people want to know like, oh, what else do these people do? So I try to use the band account to boost the people that are in the band. So like when I post on from like King Gorm's Instagram page, I'll post stuff about Beekeeper because it's like, here's this really cool thing that our drummer does that's completely different from what we do, but it's like if you like the drumming on this album, here's another side of that character basically.
Yeah, no, I get it. Corinne, do you have a counter shot to that one?
No, I guess I'm still like, even if it's like music related memes, like there's an account that I follow that they do a lot of music related memes, metal related memes, and you know, kind of joking and that kind of stuff. And I still really appreciate that account, and it actually keeps it. I feel more engaged with the bands when they let more of their personality show through on the band account specifically. Again, I could be totally in the minority here and super wrong, but it's just, that's my preference.
Yeah, so I don't think I actually don't even I don't even think you're probably in the minority. But I I'm trying to think of how I want to say this. I guess I the longer I've played in bands and the longer I've been doing this, the more I recognize that most people, that even people that are like fans of a band, well, as almost like especially people that are fans of the band, they almost don't care what the music is. Like if you showed them a ton of music that was all really like in their taste, they are attracted to your band because of who the band is in a lot of ways. So I think that like what you're saying, Corey, is very like relevant to that. Like knowing that this band is like, this is their sense of humor, and you get these like, you feel like you have these inside jokes with the band, is really helpful to a lot of people. But at the same time, I like to encourage people to follow the people that are in the band. because that's what the band is. The band is a combination of those people, right? And I mean, in the case of something like Old Man Wizard, it's like, here's a bunch of music that I wrote that's performed by these people. So like, here's some other music that I wrote, and here's some other music that those people performed. And maybe like something that I'll post from Old Man Wizard, for example, is like, Chris has another band called Platypus Egg that's completely different. And I'll be like, here's some music that Chris wrote. Don't expect to like it if you like us for our music, but like, I won't say that necessarily, but it's like, that's sort of the subtext. Is like, Chris doesn't write music in Old Man Wizard. And if you want to know what they write, here it is.
Yeah. Do we have more Twitter?
I just have one more question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In the the times that we're in right now, when people, they can't be touring and maybe they haven't written any new music or anything like that, what would you suggest that they post, if not like humorous stuff or responding to other people or retweeting or that kind of stuff? What band related things would you suggest that they post when they don't have anything new?
Are you telling me that if the people that have access to Twitter don't have a way to record themselves making new content?
I'm just saying, what if they haven't written anything new?
Well, they should write something new. There's no excuse. If you can post to Twitter, you're probably doing it from your phone or your computer. And like, I mean, like, I understand if you like are, in dire straits and you don't have any resources, but at that point you need to focus on, like, getting back on your feet. Almost everyone that has time to be in a band has like a phone that can record audio and video. And if you have an instrument, like, people are understanding of that. Like, write a song and just record a video of yourself. That's, a lot of people got famous like that. Like Justin Bieber, for example, got famous just posting covers of songs like on YouTube. From like they're not good quality videos. They're not pro recordings. Like, people don't care. I think that there's this misconception that like you need to record in a famous studio. Like, bedroom recordings have been winning Grammys. Billie Eilish and Phineas recorded in their bedroom at their parents' house. And it's like, I've seen the setup. It's not like what people think of as pro. It's like a MacBook with Logic. It's like, that's like, if you have a laptop already, that's an extra $200 to $300 of software, and you're literally on the same playing field as stuff that's winning Grammys. So like, there's no excuse. Learn how to use the software, or just take a video of yourself and post it. Because if you put the video in the right spot and you get the lighting right, using sunlight, you don't need to buy fancy lights. Like, there's really no excuse. You should be just making new content.
Okay. No, the reason I ask is because I've had a lot of bands, blaming the pandemic and everything like that. Oh, we can't record anything new because XYZ is closed down because of the pandemic. So I just wanted your take on the situation.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people doing stuff. You can get really creative. Like, here's me playing, here's the drum part by itself of this song. I can't get together with my bandmates because of the pandemic. And here's like a cell phone video of that. If you put the cell phone in like right in front of the drum kit, it's gonna sound like shit. It's gonna overload the microphone in it. But move it around the room. Try a few things, and at a certain point, you're gonna find a spot in the room where you can see what you're doing, and it sounds pretty good. And I think your fans will appreciate that you're putting in effort and you're showing like, here's what I've been doing. What have you guys been doing? Ask questions, get some engagement. If you're the guitar player, if you're the singer of the band, like, make some vocal covers, lip sync stuff on TikTok. Like, have fun with it. Like, it's we're all sort of stuck here, and I've been getting so much better at recording as a result of not getting to do other stuff. And I'm loving it, but I was loving it before. Like, I was putting together a home studio before the pandemic. So I'm definitely lucky in that way that I have like pro quality stuff that I can put out. But I've seen a lot of people putting out like absolutely not pro quality stuff. And I mean, actually, I've got some new songs that I'm going to be putting out that are collaborations with people that don't have pro quality stuff, where it's like, you you can interact online, and I can give people instructions like, hey, here's where you can set up the mic to make it work. here's how you can set it up so that it's going to sync up with my files. You just get one person in the group that's got a pro quality setup or a semi pro quality setup, and have them give you directions and put it together, figure out a way to make it work, because it can and it will, and stuff that's being done on that level is winning Grammys, so there's no excuse.
All
Any
righty.
follow-up?
No. We're gonna run out of time if I keep following up with this one. So I'll go ahead and let you ask the next question, Curtis, because I've been
Cool.
monopolizing.
Well, I want to follow up now on that one before we go into image. I don't think we're gonna have enough time to do image, but so I want to point out something though. I'm gonna get combative here.
Combative. Oh, this is gonna be like the
This is gonna be good.
Smackdown episode.
This is gonna be this. No. It's not. It's not combative and all.
That's what makes good content, though. That's what makes it fun to listen to and engaging.
Exactly.
I think.
Well,
C-squared Mortal Kombat.
It's not combative. It's more like I want to make a point though. I think one thing about you, Francis, though, when you say that though, is like you work really fucking hard, right? And I think
That's
a lot
true.
of bands don't. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. That's
So-
that's my only point. Like I want to.
I can actually bring up another point relating to that. One of
Sure.
the people that I said I watch. I've been following a lot of YouTube channels that do similar stuff to me. One of the people who I follow is Tom Holkenborg, who's he's a film composer. He works in Hollywood on big movies, like stuff like Avengers and like I don't know, like the latest Mad Max movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, stuff like that.
Nice.
Really high budget stuff. And he does a great deal of the work himself. And he says on his channel, it's like he's basically working like until the movie comes out. These days, like because stuff is digital, you can do revisions and you can change stuff and fix stuff all the way until the deadline. So as long as you create the deadline for yourself, or you have a project manager doing that for you, it's not done until that deadline hits. And the most recent revision that you've sent out by the time the deadline hits is the finished product. And I guess the idea is that you can work as hard as you want, but if you aren't setting deadlines for yourself and you're not deciding this is when stuff gets published, you're not going to get anything tangible done. And the other thing is that you really have to love working hard on this stuff. It's not, you have to love it to the point where it almost doesn't even feel like work. Otherwise, there's people out there that that are going to be doing it and working that hard. And I think that there's this idea that like, oh my God, I wish I could play like Guthrie Govan or something like that. Like I wish I could play like Guthrie Govan when I play guitar. Like that would be great. I'll never be as good as Guthrie Govan because I don't like playing guitar as much as he does. And at the end of the day, that's really what ends up mattering. And I'll have students that are like, how do I practice to get good? And it's like, you're not going to get that good unless you like it as much as that person. And if you don't like it as much as that person, then find the stuff that you do like and get good at that. And at the end of the day, it's like, you're really good at this style and this seems to be what you like doing. So if you focus on that, that's the style that you will get that good at. But you're not going to get good at a style of playing that you don't like playing. Like if it feels like work, you're going to get burnt out. And the stuff, when you see people that are just incredible at something, they either have been forced to do it since childhood or they love it more than anything in the whole world. And like, if I work 18 hours in a day on a project, I'm not doing that because I want to work hard and I'm hustling. I'm doing that because I forgot to eat lunch because I was having fun. Like it's just, I didn't mean to work for 18 hours. I thought I was working for an hour and I was having fun.
We've never had this, have we, Corinne?
Oh no, I've never lost track of time due to work.
This never happens at all. I think that's a great point, though.
Well, that's the thing with art, music, certain types of fields. Like that's the people that are doing better work than you like what they're doing more than you do. Yeah, it doesn't feel like work to them. And
it might not even be necessarily that they're doing better work, but they're getting better results in terms of whatever it is for sales or income or whatever too, because sometimes those people are better at that and they have an obsession with getting their music out.
They're also more confident than you are. And
Yeah.
that's the thing you'll learn if you watch interviews with anyone that's extremely famous, is like they'll say stuff and you'll be like, wait, no, and you see like regular fans getting mad in the comments about stuff like that's
Yeah.
incorrect. And it's like they did it confidently and look where they got.
Yep.
And it's like it only becomes a problem sometimes, like when people are looking to them for like education or for like how do I copy this, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, by copying that you end up exactly where you don't want. You have to copy the confidence, and you have to read into the subtext, and how they got there wasn't what they did. It was the fact that they were so confident in what they did and presented it so confidently that it's like it's like you look at like Harrison Ford, for example. Like what got him famous was confidently delivering stuff that wasn't in the script.
Yep.
It's like if he just
Mhm.
did his job and like said "I love you too" in Star Wars, it's like no one would care. But he's like, that's not what the character would do. So I'm just going to do a better job because I'm so confident that this is a better job. And it's not a better line necessarily. It really isn't. But the way he delivered it feels so much more like the character that it was a better product. And when you're like writing a song or playing guitar in a band or whatever it is that you're doing, it's not about you. It's about the product. Like, and the product is the combination of everything from like your part in the song to the way the band performs the song, to the lighting on the stage, to the front of house sound, which is the result of the monitor mix on the stage, to the person managing the venue and the promoter making sure people come to the show, and the way the people react to the songs on the stage, because the vibe in the room affects the performance in a big way. And anyone that's played a show to an empty room knows that. It's a combination of all of this stuff. And a lot of people let their ego get in the way, and they think that, it's like, well, I'm a better guitarist than this person. Like, I'm a better guitarist than Ed Sheeran. Why is he famous? Like, because people don't care about his guitar playing. He's a better songwriter than you, and he's got a better team.
Yep.
What was that?
Curtis, are you there?
Curtis is cutting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
You're cutting out really
You guys
bad.
hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Mhm. Did you have a follow-up?
Questions for us?
Oh, you
And
cut
it's
out
still
again.
cutting
I
out.
do if you don't.
You're still cutting out, Curtis.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, there you
How
are.
about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
I'm back. Okay. Well,
Yep,
maybe.
you're back.
Okay.
And
Didn't
no, I think we're permanently losing Curtis.
Curtis is only available when he's saying, "Can you hear me now?"
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. Is he back? Nope.
Are
Nope.
you guys
Okay.
back? We back or we back?
No, you're not back. You keep cutting out. The only thing we can hear is, "Am I back?" This is great. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and continue. And yeah. So no, I totally agree with you that, I mean, people need to carve their own path. They need to find what they're passionate about, because it'll always show through when they're not.
Yeah.
And it looks like we lost Curtis permanently anyway, so you're stuck with me now.
Cool.
But on that whole carving their own path, we only have about 5 minutes left. But I just want to touch on one topic really quick. You have a pretty, unique and distinctive image. So as part of carving their own path, do you think it's important for musicians or bands to create an image that is something that's really distinct or that stands out? And I mean, I'm thinking of like, Herr Knox and his image, or the Inferno doll and her image. They all have that really distinct, like, what's up. Do you think that that's important, or that it's something that's kind of like auxiliary and you should only really do it if it's something you think is going to be fun and that you really believe in?
It has to be something that you really believe in.
Mhm.
And again, it's you will be overtaken by people that care about that. if they also care about the other stuff. So it's very important. You should only do it if you believe in it. And if you don't believe in it and you don't do it, people that do believe in it and do it will do better than you. It's kind of like a weird self-fulfilling prophecy, but there are ways around it. And I've seen some really excellent ways around it. The biggest of which is having someone else be the image. A lot of, I mean, there's a lot of just stuff that I guess people don't expect happens. And it's all sort of behind the scenes stuff. There's plenty of artists that don't have an image that's a person. For example, I think a great example of that is like Hatsune Miku. If you're familiar with her, basically a computer generated artist, computer generated vocal, excellent songwriting. Basically, a songwriting team that's like, hey, if we have like an anime girl as our face, that would be cool. And you know what? It's great. It's really cool. The songs are good. The producers are good. And the vocal is cool because it's like a fake human vocal that's attached to a fake person. It's great. It's a way around it. So if you have an artist that you like working with, look at the Gorillas. It's a collaboration between an artist, a visual artist, and a music artist. And the image is like, it's like, well, I'm not comfortable putting my face on it, so let's draw a cartoon character. Another great example is, let's see, someone like a film composer. A lot of like I think that the sort of classic visual image of a film composer is like like a chubby bald dude, and you know, it's because the image is the movie. Like they're working with filmmakers to create the image. So if you don't like being the image or being the face for your music, that's okay, but you have to recognize that that's very, very important. And if you're not the face, someone has to be, or something has to be. Another a rock band that does this, I think really well, is Tool. I'm not a huge fan of their music, but their image is just like, they like, let's get a really cool visual artist to do the album designs. And on stage, we'll just not put spotlights on the band members. We'll put cool imagery on stage. We'll wear weird outfits and do stuff that makes us feel comfortable playing this music in front of people. And it's very successful because it's a unique image that sets them apart, that they're comfortable with. The image doesn't have to be you. It doesn't have to be you wearing makeup. It doesn't have to be you wearing a mask. It doesn't have to be you in jeans and a t-shirt. But it's got to be something, because there's no way to upload your music to Spotify or iTunes or any of that stuff without having that square like thumbnail image. There's no real way to sell music without having some type of image associated with it. So ignoring that or saying it doesn't matter is a terrible idea, because people see the image before they get to hear the music, like almost 100% of the time these days.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially now, because I mean, our society is just so visual.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Good. I'm back finally. It's just in time to wrap up since it's now 2:45. Sorry about that, guys. Apparently my internet died and my phone internet wouldn't take over until I rebooted the phone. But thank you, Francis, for coming on. We really appreciate it. Going to have you back probably sometime in the next couple of months if you're willing.
I probably will be. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Any final things you want to say before we wrap up the show?
I want everyone to see The Spine of Night. I didn't work on the whole score. I worked on a portion of it, but it should be in theaters in the US by the end of the year, and some other parts of the world next year. I'm just so excited that I get to say that.
That's going to be awesome. Is it coming to Canada?
Awesome.
Do you know?
What was that?
Is it coming to Canada too? Do you know or no?
I'll have to look. I'm not sure.
Cool. Well, let me know. Okay. Well, so anyways, we have to wrap up since we're short on time. So party on, Corey.
Party on, Curtis.
Party on.